Testing. Okay. I'm going to flow chart what I did the last time. I got 2 likes, and I'm going to tell you why I'm appreciative. That was a heavy algorithm of truth. I might have bagged on some people, but I told the absolute truth. And it was a true, authentic disclosure. And evidently 2 human beings figured out that this Prius laid it down correctly. Now, I want to do a little disclaimer of what I'm about in case you're new to this channel, New Game, New Rules. 1 year ago, I invited, unbeknownst to them, a bunch of leeches in the UFO community to figure out where they went wrong. I skipped season 2 last year. My gift fired on fire. I'm 3 years old on my gift. 50 years of religion. An unknown. I never doxed God or tried to figure it out. I merely respected Him, Mother Earth, from its core to the moon, to the sun and beyond. And I just love this planet. But I always felt that I should have been born somewhere else, like in Utopia. I feel like I'm backwards. So that means I probably don't care that much about humanity because I'm not like you. It's okay. So I'm going to flip that because I may be pushing that vibe out and I'm a theist. So I'm going to give the following disclosure and hope it cheers me up and I'll have a little bit more fun. And I'm going to flip my flow chart and do the same damn thing I did last time. Except this time, when you're looking from the sky down, like from a bird's eye view on a MUFON meeting, and there's no roof, the roof's ripped off. The speaker is an oil snake salesman. You're all getting pickpocketed. It's the same thing they're doing in this documentary, Acapulco Anarchy. That's the most funniest show I've ever seen about alcoholism and drug addiction I've seen in my life. And I'm sorry, it was tragic as heck. Decentralized Bitcoin means one jackass is in control of it. He gets to pay off people like John McAfee when John McAfee pumps it out there. They make the money. It's the old Ponzi scheme, pump and dump. It's comical. And then they claim it's a free trading right into their pocketbook. And in the end, if you watch that, here's what I learned. A guy killed himself at the end because he thought he was the wackest hack and snake oil salesman and had a really fat bank account. And he got too drunk one day and got had. And they done emptied that bank account. That's the moral of the story, folks. Snake oil salesman taking, and unfortunately death occurred. Very tragic. But they never gave any answers. What do you do when you take the government out? How do we feed all these starving people? How do we do equality? They sell hype and BS. So here's the following disclaimer. This channel is not a UFO channel. In case you haven't noticed, I have made the claim that through tracking, the deaf will be normal for under $20. I don't have an earpiece. I'm rubbing something that hurts, just so you know. And let's see. I went after making the deaf normal. That's a little bit not UFO-y. Would you agree? Kind of science-y. Maybe miracle-esque. Then I went after obsessive compulsive disorder. And if it's the last thing I do, Howie Mandel will get his OCD fixed. So if I don't get to him, I'll get to somebody with OCD that will tell him, hopefully. And then I'm going to go after PTSD. So that means all you UFO people come in here that are black sheep, you know, when you fill out your tags, I can put miracle, hope, joy, love, and all kinds of words you'll never imagine. But you're putting in there, I'm giving God a black eye, kicking him in the balls and clotheslining him. And it pains me to death to even think or say that, just so you know. But that's what he told me to tell you. And look, for people following, here's the disclaimer. If you're following UFO sites, in other words, you don't own one and you're pumping and dumping trash, lies, and all you care about is you just bought a spacesuit and showed it off and proved to the world that you're a shopaholic and the most selfish human being on the planet, pumping and dumping lies. And what you're doing is you're spreading it out like the bottom of the roots of a tree. You're getting farther away from the truth every single time you participate with those sites. If that makes you mad, come here. I'm not mad at you if you want to, and you don't have to tell me, because I got duped too. I'll high five you in the background because we don't want to go there. We can both be too cool for school, but I fell into that trap too. But I might be playing with a little bit more science now, let's just say. And if you want to know about my gift, it's full spectrum. I'm going to rip Elon Musk's head off and hand it to him metaphorically. And I'm going to attempt to avoid his attorneys. Quite a task. Probably not find that on your UFO channels. Let's see, on my last channel, and I can pull it up, still here. One of the small things I did was I hacked mushrooms. Everyone complains they shrink. If you throw them in the freezer for about 4 hours prior to cooking them, you can jack it up at high temperature and retain way more size and texture out of it because they're little pockets inside. When you put it on there, you're steaming them and popping them, and that's why it's deflating back to its original size. If you freeze the center, it'll keep steaming, and it'll be good, and then you can rush out a steak and mushroom, or whatever you're eating. If you're vegan, what is it? Look, I tried that. The bread is like crap, and then I put a bunch of great mushrooms and onions that I love on a piece of cardboard. Sorry. You do you, I do me. So, here's the disclaimer. If you went to a MUFON meeting and you heard about UFOs on the news and you wanted to throw up and you said these people are absolutely batshit crazy, they're writing books stolen from people giving them evidence that they take credit for, like when I gave them my data. Here's 3 words. Payback's a bitch. Big time. I do not like any of the leaders of MUFON, nor the chapters in the following counties. And this is my apologies, there's certain people in MUFON I realized that might actually care, and they might have liked my video. And I'm blown away. Absolutely mind blown. Because I found someone in MUFON that got in there and actually gives a shit and doesn't like what you're doing. Call him or her, or whatever identity, my mole. Don't forget those 3 words. Don't mess with me. Trust me, it's a 3 word. So watch. I'm going to do a full-blown disclosure. But it's not a UFO disclosure. It's a planetary disclosure of what went wrong and why in the Sam hell we're trying to blow it up with 3,000 nukes. And I imagine that somebody's watching the news going, there's UFOs and nuclear bombs and this is crazy. You're my target market. So stay tuned. I'm going to try to explain it. But beware. There's a bunch of black sheep here that are going to try and infect us like a virus. And I'm going to start reviewing their websites one by one for my entertainment and your educational purposes. Oh, shoot, I just deflated it again, part 2. And I'll start picking off every single website since none of you are going to take it down. And I'm going to point out every single blow to God you are doing. Tell you every single thesis you never saw coming while educating the new people. And tear your sites apart. Now, I don't want you to shut your site down. I'm a theist. If you agree with me and you want to know the truth and you go, wait, I don't want to go down that road. I'm on your side. I just wanted to know the truth. And I might have made a fork in road wrong. Don't shut it down. I want you to put up a video and it says coming soon, the truth, or on hold or standby. How about them apples? And if you want to do that, you may have the opportunity to make a buddy with me. Don't you dare send, I want an interview. I'll review your site. We're doing this anti-Christopher Columbus way. You will learn how to respect each other, or else. We're not allowed to blow up the planet, folks. I'm going to let you in on a secret. It destroys the entire timeline, past, present, and future. A lot of other people off your silly planet have worked way, way longer than 200 million years. Imagine all 3 timelines. And the Earth is like 0.001 on this particular timeline. And that 200 million years for humans is extremely insignificant compared to the people who put more effort in than you, live in utopian societies. Your government won't tell you about us. I'm translating for aliens, dickhead. I'm just a Prius. If you'd like to say someone made contact, you may say that. But there's a problem. This isn't a party. They're here to save their timeline and their ass. They don't have any weapons. You do. They're thinking of setting them off right where they sit. That ends it. And then we just make it an animal planet, and you're going to ask how. Take a look at Jupiter. It's a reconditioned planet in process. Do you think a human's going to be able to survive underneath? So this is a little bit more than a UFO disclosure. UFO sites are jack-offs. I can explain every little triangular and square-shaped popping through the sun, as you call it. So disrespectful. Sorry, Raw. I'll kick their ass for you if they go there. Those are my bosses. I work for high-level people. I didn't just make contact. I'm a good hacker, but I'm a good boy. I'm a white hacker, but I never forgot about God, and that makes me a pseudo hacker or a pseudo scientist, your choice. Now, I'm not a whack job. I truly think I'm hypoxic as F. But if you look at my designs and where I'm going, no UFO site. And by the way, there's a chick doing this right now. And look, my mom raised me. I'm not against women. I pick out males and females quite evenly and individuals at random. So sometimes I might go 1, 2, 3. My mom raised me by herself. Dude, she was hardcore women's lib so much. I was a late bloomer, and I might even still be frightened of women that are attractive to me and not, due to all the respect factors that my mom put in me. So, but some chick is going, God said this. A little alien with a green dick said this. I want to tell you what that person's truly doing. They're ridiculing God, the planets, the plants and the animals, and the humans, and beyond. Are you kidding me? and there's a group of sheep following this, paying this person. I want to throw up. UFO sites make me throw up. And just so you know, I track you for data because sometimes you have good data. I know all your mistakes. So you know, in my account, on average, there's 458 names given to a Thunderbird. And I only have 3. Thunderbird, Spirit. Spirit is the native translation. A religious person might call it an angel. And I say Arcella because I'm not going to give it away. Because I can identify every single body part and anatomy on this, the finest animal of God. So if you're curious or new or old and want to get honest or fell into a trap, welcome. If you're a dickhead like UOR Investigations, what's the city? I forgot. Hold on. Bottom of Colorado. They said, keep me safe. He's going to try coming to my house. I'm picking on a guy that's selling paranormal investigations and cattle mutilation services. I forgot I can do this in words. I did a Dundee's burn video on the guy. If you look up UOR Investigations, or he's trying to sell you services, boycott him, and leave emails that are despicable that he's a snake oil salesman. This person is an ex-police officer, ex-ambulance driver, and he's a flight medic. And so you know they were checking upstairs. This is all public knowledge. He declared it on public places like Facebook and on the internet and through advertisements that were all public knowledge, no doxing necessary. And this is a lesson for law enforcement or ex-law enforcement. That's really fucking stupid. So I didn't dox him. He doxed himself. Would you agree? Now, there's a reason I'm going after a person like this. That dude versus my resume can certainly get a job easier. I've never been in law enforcement. I'm afraid of heights with helicopters. I did search and rescue. He did that. You figure it out. It's close. And what else did he do? Man, that dickhead gets around. He did a bunch of stuff. So he's a deputy, it looks like. He works in an ambulance, and he's a flight medic as well. Those 3 jobs, would you not agree, can get him a job anywhere on the planet, from McDonald's to a high-end job, if he did his job half-assed correctly and wasn't a snake oil salesman and weren't lives at stake here? So you would think, hopefully, if this guy's good at his last jobs, he would follow that path. He failed at used car sales. Ever since, those 3 fine jobs, and there's nothing wrong with car sales, it's a living, but it wasn't enough for him. He now has UOR Investigations. You can look it up on Facebook. Greg Feynman, thank you. Once again, public knowledge. He's advertising his services. Is the psychic still with him? No? Don't want to talk? Okay. He used to have a psychic with him. They told me it's none of my business. You guys look him up. It's a bullshit psychic, and he's a bullshit artist. He saw my data on cattle mutilations, so he's selling my data for his benefit to punch God in the eye over and over again. With all that experience in his background, you know why he can't get a job? He just wants to sit around his house and masturbate and smoke pot. Dude, this is fun on this timeline. Holy shit. Okay, wow. And Putin has, I'm going deeper, sorry, I asked another question. Putin has a video of President Trump banging some Russian, sorry, the translation's rough, Punani. And that's why they're buddies, and when he went over there, it was all for a business deal. And basically, Trump is Putin's B word, and he sold my people out for that. I'm Ukrainian. Dude. Seriously? What else did he do? He set my people up for Putin with that, and his return pay was building his, are you shitting me? His freaking little motel hotel schemes. That dude sold out human life for genocide. So natives, if you want to know why I'm on your side, there's one of the many reasons. And unfortunately, I'm showing you pain. I'm sorry. So look, and thank you if you're coming here and you're supporting my Ukrainian people. I'm humbled. And stop arguing with Putin because we're dying, please. That's all I can ask. And I can't fix it. Okay. If someone made contact with an alien and was able to communicate, wouldn't you be doing what I'm doing? I mean, so let's take a look at the videos I posted, and I don't even need to look. But folks, I think there's 50 more videos missing from season 1. Not as good as this, but there's a whole heck of a lot of pictures, and this is the words. So when a bunch of people want to tell me they like me, not me, but what I'm doing, that took me my whole life, young people, you stick to becoming a rapper rock star. You ain't gonna do this overnight, don't ask. It took me my whole life to do this. And just so you know, if you played with an Atari 400 and the FBI took it away from you in 1986, and in 1989 I flipped my gift to do a favor for someone, and I've been doing it ever since, then you can be me. And I hacked a bank while in high school with the wackiest, smallest hack known to mankind. All I had to do was find a phone number, and I was in. But what was my work that got me there? I didn't work. I went to high school. I didn't like PE. I didn't like classrooms. I certainly didn't like you. And I'm an introvert. And I knew there was a job opening, so I stood next to somebody that was supposedly smoking pot, made a buddy. And he said, dude, you don't smoke pot. And I said, no, but security will think I am because I got a clove. They arrested me. Just the high school security. Just to show you how in control I was back then. I wanted to make a quick appointment with the principal, but I was off campus. I didn't know if he was in. Anyway, he showed up. Evidently he wasn't there. Pretty quick. And as a punishment, he knew I had a little bit of a gift and a knack for electronics. He put me into an after-class, it's called the Career Regional Occupational Program, and I'm going to reintroduce that. Somebody needs to remind me of that if you're interested in education. And if you remind me past, present, future, and whatever I just said that I forgot before that, I'll do a video on it, like re-education better. But what are you guys talking about on your UFO sites? There's a flying donut. Look, no shit. I think we all get that. And you can call it an orb. What else do they call it? Come on, let's ridicule. Oh my God. You guys are calling God's finest animal. And I'm going to prove that right now. And it's blessed. A donut? Dude. Leprechauns too. Dude. You guys are village idiots. There's 458 names, and I only have 3. So if you say Thunderbird, and remember theist, religious, and unfortunately I've never stopped believing in God, so agnostics, you're on your own. Hopefully you see the beauty or the science. Angel or spirit. You go to any reservation, and make buddies with them like me. And even if it takes you longer and something flies by like a meteor and you point up there, there's a high probability that that male or female will tell you it was probably a spirit or a meteor or maybe a thunderbird. 100% of the time. Because they're not like UFO people. They're the opposite. They compress data. They identify something's flying. Does it look similar? And they backtrack and see all the colors and the beauty. UFO sites don't do that. They see zero beauty because one name, one color represents one little piece of the puzzle. It's like a whoopee cushion backwards. Okay, so I'm done deflating UFO sites, and I want to reward people coming here and try to make it positive. And I'll give you a riddle so that you make it look beautiful, because look, people coming here aren't like UFO people. They're not greedy going more. They want to know what's going on and see the beauty. So I'm going to give you a little bit of beauty and once again deflate UFO sites because they've never said this. And for all of you copying me, I'm a hacker. I know my algorithm of words and I know yours. I certainly know what the heck a bot is, let alone a self-replicating bot, let alone the highest quality bots on the planet. New Game, New Rules rocks. Sponsored by God, licensed by God, and taught to me by the three-hearted people. You ain't gonna compete. Good luck. My club rocks, and I love you, Grandpa. And I'm sorry I made a mess in UFO. Okay. So, I converted to theism, and I used to be religious half my life, literally. That means that my flow chart, just so you know, I'm going to repeat this and then I'll give you some beauty. And religious people, I got nothing against you. I have many Jewish friends, Catholic, Christian, everything. I don't care as long as they pump love, unity, and a better life and being responsible with technology and not raping Mother Earth. Shoot, we're down like Charlie Brown. UFO people that own websites don't talk about that. Anyway. Psst. You guys got flat tires, dude. You got to stop running over those little teeth in the road that you guys got when you're not supposed to go backwards and it flattens your tires. That's what I just did to your website. So watch. I'm going to give the beautiful people, the white sheep that went there, the scientists, and all the true people that the UFO market does not market to the truth, and keep going psst with the other ones because they're going to want to know why. So here we go. What's a thunderbird? According to natives, it flies and swims. According to some dickhead in an F-35 that won't tell the complete truth, that pseudopods were attaching to their cockpits and it mortified them, but never harmed them. An animal was curious what the F they were doing in their airspace, because this is God's planet and their territory and you're the invader. Duh. If God only pumped love and made all these wonderful inventions, to so speak, of life, and I relate life to simulation theory, meaning computers and technology. Simulation theory is bust. It's God. All religions lead to either theism or spirituality, which leads you to God. That's the backwards flowchart that I see forwards. So if I'm going towards God and you're inventing hell here, aka religion, aka what you're doing to planet Earth by destroying it, and then pumping it through UFO sites and incorporating any religion, you're so far off it's ridiculous. Let's go flowchart one person who I'm not even going to say their name, and if they don't stop stealing, they stole from me and many other people. I'm going to straight up rip their head off. Okay? Look, I'm a nice guy, but you're not going to kick God in the balls, punch him in the eye and clothesline him, ask him to get up off the ground and then charge money for stealing from him directly and then clothesline him again. So that's why I'm after UFO site owners. Now, if you would like to reverse that, I work for the boss. You might call me his bodyguard. You ain't doing that no more. Never disrespect God. And I'm gifted as shit. And I'm going to keep going psst until you concede. And if you don't concede, I'm going to throw you in a trash can. And I'm going to have a fleet of Martindale Hubbell attorneys figure out how to bypass Section 230. I've already done it. And they're gifted and menses. We went full bore spectrum on how to go after you for defying God and spreading the worst hatred on the planet. We're comparing you to people like white power. People who say you're better than everyone else. I'm going to jack you, but you're worse. You're stealing money. I have no room for hatred. I could give a shit about those people. If you're a person that shoots somebody at McDonald's because your French fries are cold, I have no advice for you other than to seek God or serious mental health. Missing in America right now, the biggest piece of the puzzle is mental health. COVID made people stay inside. They went nuts, argued with their wives. Nobody's making records on the honeymoon phase, nor making love, nor anything. It's more like hate, hate, hate. And I'm here to fix all that bullshit and try to improve some lives. So I guess I'm a UFO site if all that back stuff I talked about is incorporated into yours. You now have a spare tire that you might want to check. So here's a bone. This is for people who are explorers like me that want to see the beauty. I'm going to give you part of the puzzle, and I'm not going to even tell you if I know the answer. And just so you know, it's 50-50. Because there's one piece I may not know here, but I want to show you the beauty. One day I was sitting on the beach. Some Samoans walked up to me and said, they didn't say it this way, but I heard, "Beat it, Howley." And he asked me what I was doing there, real politely with a smile. And my translation was, "Beat it, Howley, or I'm going to use you as a flower and pound you in the ground." And I told him I would leave as soon as I was done with my personal prayer to God, who I have no clue who it is. I'll never dox him, but I have to finish because I just went surfing. And he said, "Do you think you're a spiritualist?" And I said, "I think I'm just a beginner. I have no idea." And he sat down next to me and he said, "Would you tell me your prayer?" And I said, "Yes." By the way, unbeknownst to me is about 30 of his buddies. And let's just say I'm tiny. Had no idea. Now your perception is they're all there to beat my ass. They were on this island visiting, and they had reservations there for them to be there and perform a spiritual ceremony, and I was interrupting. I did not realize that. And he did not complain. These Samoans are awesome, dude. Anyway, I told him the following, and I'm shortening it. That I start at the core of the earth, go up every layer, respect every single timeline, even if I'm unfamiliar with it, and I at least try to thank all the natives prior to me because they seem to be the most conservative, recycling, lovable people, but I include everyone I can think of, dinosaurs, everyone. I start at the molten core, I work my way up, and I imagine there must have been lakes and reservoirs that were missing, and I just try to think simplicity and beauty and go, man, without that, I wouldn't be here down the timeline, and I work my way up, and if you realize it or not, underneath oceans are freshwater streams, rivers, and lakes. That's why Antarctica is a hot spot. It also happens to be God's land and it's off limits. That's why it was froze. And it's now cut into a pizza pie from every country. So if you want to say there's something special down there, every single country's fighting for a piece of it. What do you think? And their goal is military power. Has nothing to do with Earth or you. Has to do with land grab, jerkwad. And you guys are talking about UFOs. Are there UFOs there? There's Thunderbirds all over the planet in every cave, you dumbass. And on the moon. There's a guy in Canada that films them all the time. I thought we might be buddies, but he's a little flipped out with all this shit. I'll give him some time to cool off. But he's got awesome videos. And he seems to be really passionate and honest. And very crazy, sorry, dude. Look, dude, do me a favor if you watch this. Smoke a bowl and relax. Go outside and put the telescope down. Just look at the beauty for a second, okay? You're like molesting God and like making a video of it, just so you understand. See the beauty in it. I mean, all you're doing is pounding out videos with low resolution, seeing the same thing, and no one's seen the beauty. So we're going to be different. And back to my Samoan story, and it's going to tie into the pyramids. I told that Samoan that I realized all these little tricks, but it would take me forever to explain it to him, but I knew that thunderbirds only like non-saline water. Hence, the reason that they only skip in it, maybe to cool off, and they can survive in it for up to 3 days if need be, but it's not the preferred method of transportation. Freshwater. It's where they were born, silly. Then they learned to fly and swim. Already did that video 1 year ago. Got less than 50 views. You people in America do not give a shit at all. You're more interested in hype and lies, and UFO people are famous for finding one small stupid-ass fact and doing an hour-long video of BS over and over and over of fluff and lies, and then you deflate that one piece of information that's true so no one can find it. Just in case you had fix-a-flat. Sorry. Now, if you're the opposite and you don't like them and you're realizing all this, watch this. That Samoan said, guys, come here, you gotta hear this. This is some good shit. I think we got a howley on crack. And it was just me and my surfboard, my stick. Shortboard, tri-fin, 6'2". Or my 5'8", not sure, one of the two. Black and white graphics only. Checker pattern on the bottom, spic-holy all the way. Looked like the bottom of a van shoe, the side on the bottom. Because I'd rip it up in the air. So anyway, I'm sitting on the beach at North Shore. Some Samoans came by, told me to beat it. They saw me surfing. They waved and said hi, and that was badass. And they'd never told me that they were going to beat my ass. They just wanted to share a prayer with me. And I unfortunately picked the wrong spot. And they just decided to join me because they thought my prayer was okay. Really cool story. You see, your perception goes in the wrong direction and you guys keep reprogramming yourself, and I'm going to keep pointing it out. That's all I'm doing. Not trying to be a jerk, trying to unprogram you before you destroy yourselves. So watch. I told the Samoan, my favorite is when the sun comes up or goes down or the moon's there. Man, how cool is that? Or something else, flying by like a meteor. I said, what a blue moon blessing. But then you see the birds, and sometimes the birds are on the ground. Sometimes the crabs walk by and they're beautiful and pinch up in the air and say hello. Coconut crabs are really cool. You should look them up. They're on one island only. It's straight out of a scary movie. But when you tell me There's flying thunderbirds that are 15 to 30 feet, and I don't believe you. You don't even know that there's a crab that looks like a lobster. You look, and you find the island, and then you explain to me the difference in size with what's commonly available on planet Earth, and I'll tell you that God might have been scaling, or they might have come from a different planet that was scaled differently, size-wise. One of those two is right. That's a basic baby shit thesis that I've been throwing shit at the wall my whole life. And when I look at your UFO sites, it's not even a thesis, it's not even complete, there's no definitions, there's no structure, there's nothing. But I've been doing this for 50 years. And I got good at it. But in the last 3, I really got good at it. Now watch. I told these beautiful Samoans, God, they're beautiful. Their wisdom, by the way, in spirituality, if you want to get a boost, just make a friend with a Samoan, be cool as shit, and I'll tell you 99% of them, I don't know what's wrong with them. They got too much love, white carpet, they barbecue like crazy, they love human beings, and they'll tell you the secrets of the universe. My gosh. You don't even have to go to a reservation. My buddy had a 2-story house near a military base, ironically. So, what did I see sitting on the beach that he agreed with? I saw 3 layers. The sky, the land, and the water. And I told him, briefly, I like sand sharks. I like jellyfish. I don't like being stung by them, but God did give him that to keep me back, so I'm smarter than that. I said fire coral burns like shit, but I only hit it once and I never made that mistake again and returned to neutral on the feather, as learned. And I said that lesson sucked, and he laughed. He said, "Did you get it all out?" And I said, "Yeah, that stuff keeps growing, dude." Talk about a genetic marvel of God. There's something that can go inside of you and keep growing. If that doesn't trip you out, it's kind of like a rock. Remember all those old tales turning people into stone and weird stuff? There's a rock you can hit, fire coral. Anyway, you guys don't like life like I do. Anyway, there's caves there. It's Hawaii, silly. Volcano rock, lava comes through, it dries. UFO people keep saying, I don't know what those tubes are, but there's people in there. Yeah, man, it's me barbecuing, dude. It's Taco Tuesday. I get to pick the planet we're going to as it rotates through us. Those are naturally made by God, silly. Watch it. If a volcano is still active on a planet that has a bunch of sand on it and no vegetation, the sand converts to glass. Why is this a shock to anybody? And I have walked around there nude. I've tried to paint pictures in the sand, but you guys just can't get it. But anyway, that's Taco Tuesday. If you're on my ship, remind me on that. I always forget, but they kind of sort of send reminders. So watch. The beach, all the birds up in the air, man, and usually you don't get them there, but if a crane comes by, that's super lucky. And the Samoans agreed with me, and he said, have you seen any? And I said, not yet. I'm just hoping. And he said, I made it more beautiful. And I said, I don't think they're here, but man, maybe, God carries them over with his wind one day. And he said, what do you know about that? And I said, I know for a fact that story about Christopher Columbus has a mistake. They did kill people with disease. However, mosquitoes travel land to landmass through storms. They are flying syringes, and God did promote equality. So the mosquitoes that came over are still, I'm a gavacho, let's get real, they bite me, right? Maybe the natives do something where they don't bite them and respect nature. And that's why they get sicker. And he said, wow, dude, you made a flying dart cool. I said, I really hate those dudes, man. I itch like a son of a gun after they. And he said, me too. Anyway, when we got down to the ground layer, I told him that I didn't want to forget the caves and the cave animals. I said, I know there's crabs and I know there's all these beautiful animals, but since I've explored in there, I told him about a few that I found. And then sometimes jellyfish blow in there, so I help them out because they get trapped. And I just told him it was beautiful. And ironically, he said, man, I wish I could see that. And I said, that's why I'm sitting here. I'm going right after. And I was going to ask you to watch my board. So sometimes it's give and take. But I told him there was more. The oceans are my favorite, and I wish I could be closer to the Mariana Trench, which is the deepest part of the ocean, hence the oldest, most advanced animals on the planet. They're not alien, they're the oldest Earth animals that are perfected, which human beings have not attained yet in 200 million years. If you can comprehend that and somebody would say yes, it means my language translator is functioning. It didn't work yet, unfortunately. I'm looking for intelligent life. That's the minimum. Sorry. Hoping to make contact. This Prius is running out of batteries, so watch. I told him, I know you're going to be surprised. I didn't pick my nose or ass. My ear's itching. It's infected like the other one. So watch. I told him my favorite pet's a cat, but obviously there were no cats on the beach. So I reminding him that there's a big-ass cat sitting on the ground. So we're at middle layer. We're not in the sky, we're not on land, we're on land, we're not on water. Correct? The Sphinx is sitting, paws all the way forward, maximum sitting position for maximum exposure to the earth. Just like the natives grow their hair long to lean back and become closer to Mother Earth, or when they sit down, perhaps pray or do whatever they do that's their business. Same thing. Make sense? But I told them I saw more beauty in their birds, and I wanted to mention them last and mention first my favorite animal. And I told them, you're safe. Because you see, on the pyramids, all the birds are on the walls, not touching Mother Earth, representing the true layers. Would you not agree? A kitty's on land. Duh. Mine does climb wallpaper, drapes, but that doesn't. Hypothetically, you could say he flies, but he's falling. So he's a ground animal. Don't debate it. And I respect natives, so I don't want to touch their birds. But luckily for me, they're up on the walls, and they thought it was beautiful. I mentioned that. And I said, they're all over the place. And he said, what does that represent to you? And I said, it's really simple. You've heard of thunderbirds? And he says, yes. He says, what are you aware of it? And I said, well, I know for a fact that birds were the first animal to give God love back when he invented animals. And there's no first or second place. I don't know the order, natives. I'm not going to be disrespectful. But there's certainly more birds on the wall than my cat, right? At Egypt and here. And I don't feed my cat birds. He's seen them and he loves them. And he makes funny noises when he sees them. Bah. Somehow my cat turns into a sheep, natives. Think about it. It's pretty funny when he sees a bird. So, we got birds up on a wall, a cat on the ground. Why is the cat big? I used the cat's 60,000 moves for artificial intelligence instead of a failed human with multi-millions that isn't perfected for 200 million years, right? So, Elon Musk, you do you, I'll do me. I'm going Panther style. So, we're missing something, aren't we? A water animal, it's not the thunderbird, is missing. And I showed that beautiful person and his whole group where to find one and see one. And they invited me somewhere else. I'm not going to say afterwards to make it even better. They gave me a huge reward, but if you want to know what I showed them, I'll prove to you I'm past, present, future. I already did the video. You go find it. I didn't make 50 videos this time. There's only a handful. And by the way, I coded the one that says flow is I hacked an episode of Impractical Jokers playing around, just doing a skit. It's called Murray's Booty. If you need a sense of humor in this timeline, and I just use my gift mildly to appreciate someone who does humor. I don't like the racism in it or some other humor, but you do you, I'll do me. And it's everywhere, just so you know. My gift fired up. My God, you guys are so reprogramming yourselves, and I can undo it, but watch. The thunderbird is God's finest specimen. Earth, land, earth meaning the sky, land, and water. It's not 2 out of 3, it's 3 out of 3. The government's been working on knocking one of those off, which is land, so that you don't understand that formula. Cattle mutilations, and you're going to say disgusting. God has the right to do anything he wants. And if you haven't noticed nature, watch the Nature Channel, Animal Planet. Animals kill animals. It's the cycle of life. It's often cruel, unfortunately, to watch. I'm a theist. But this is not as bad to me as an animal that picks off an animal out of a herd. That's worse to me, just so you know then what's going to happen, and I'm going to explain. A handful of humans, one of them that is labeled alien autopsy. You UFO people are so jack-offs. I did it in one of my earlier videos, of course, but it's a human being in South America, lower right hand. He goes to a reservoir. He has seizure activity, so he is taking. Wow, he's on a buzz, dude. What is that? Okay, he's on tranquilizers for seizures and drinking. Sorry, I went into his mindset and I went, "Whoa! I can't get no data, but I got a buzz. That was cool." We keep him on file. Okay, watch. He has seizure activity and he's poor. So he found something for the seizures that's a tranquilizer and it does the job. And he's buying them in bulk, but he's poor, so he has to make them last. In order to buy it, he has to save up for a while, but then he got ahead of the game. And then he likes to get patrolled. So what? He's got the right to. He's having seizures all the time, wondering if he's going to bite his tongue off. I've got him too. And next time is my tongue. I had 3 seizures that smashed all the teeth in the back of my mouth, thanks to my local law enforcement. Should I reveal it? No. I've got a hack for them. It's really whack. Anyway, Thunderbird represents land, water, and sky. The 3, you get it by now. So we're missing a water animal, but I already showed it. But if you Wikipedia it, it has 0 intelligence and it's compared to like a chicken head. So you decide what they're telling you and then compare notes and see if mine sounds more realistic. But UFO people, I can do this over and over and over for the next 300 videos. As a matter of fact, I'm going to switch to words, and I've got 500 pages. And if you come over and jack it, I've used my gift and reverse encoded it, and then I've encoded the books. So even if you crack the book, you still need the secret decoder ring, which is me, the variable algorithm. Good luck. You'll never beat it. So I'll do a UFO disclosure, but I don't want black sheep UFO people here. Now, if you want to find out what's going on and why I'm shutting your sites down, you're welcome. You want to call me a jerk? Go for it. I'm backing God up. I could care less about you, and I'm not even kidding. I'll straight up clothesline you with words all day long. Now, Thunderbird is land, water, and sky. The +1 is the ability of interstellar travel. It's none of your business what God's finest animal does, because you haven't even figured out the third animal. You can't see the beauty until you know the third animal. Or are you an American greedy pig acting like a prick, going to Disneyland, throwing a Slurpee down, and disrespecting everyone, saying it's dirty and you didn't have a good time, when they went through a heck of a lot of trouble to throw you a good show? Who are you? What are you? I know who I am. I can write a book on theism, spirituality, hacking sex, prolonging an erection, an orgasm, anything to inventing scientific discoveries. What are you UFO people doing? Same thing. You rotate it every week. You switch to a chupacabra. So if you can't see the beauty here, I'm going to straight up clothesline you. And if that means you're doing videos and change any of my words, you could be potentially getting close to, yes, giving God a black eye, blah, blah, blah. Not allowed. And I will rip every single one of your heads off one by one if I have to review every one of you. Matter of fact, I'll do 2 sites. I'll do this part 2 somewhere else, and it'll be a review of every single UFO channel, starting from whoever's rated the hottest, and I'll splice that into who's making the most money, and we'll do a dual video, and I'll tell you exactly how much money they make, where they're spending it on, what their lifestyle is, and what their true thoughts are, and emails in the background, without even hacking them. Psst. I thought somebody might pull up to your flat tires and offer help, so I wanted to shoo them away. Looks like you're stranded. And by the way, I can do one video and reverse all of this and give you all the power back, where you can take my data, cleanly insert it, not have to delete any videos, not have to refund any money, but start fresh and clean and honest. But I honestly don't give a shit about you. You're not my target audience. Now are you? It's the people coming here that you're going to contaminate, and they're scratching their head going, I have common sense. These are village idiots. By the way, the woman that has a spacesuit, if you leave comments, anything that's negative, she's got a whole group of people that are negative, Nancy's, that will remove them immediately. You'll be barred. They'll mess with you, blah, blah, blah. Kind of like Scientology, right? You know, we're not lobbing grenades here with religion, are we? And they also implant messages like, oh my God, you're the best. Oh my God, you're the best. The same thing they do with religion, that are fraudulent, which is where she came from, her background, her family. Screw you. Defying God. And what they're doing is, while you're in your service, they're nodding their head when the pastor's lying, and I'm not saying this happens, but that's what this person's doing. They're lying. These people are nodding their heads, so you nod their heads, so they get a paycheck. And I can detail out that person's complete lifestyle, show you a picture of their house and everything else, because they're stupid and publicly made it available, including their whole life story. I'm not doxing them. It's not illegal to go online with data you put and use your lies against you. By the way, you're going to ask me, how am I doing that? Where in the heck would I come up with that? So one day the FBI hacked one of my devices where I'm able to send a picture to my TV to watch movies. And I wasn't feeling so good from a treatment. And it kept flickering and it burned up that device. And I went to sleep and just didn't have a good night's sleep, and I had planned to watch a movie. Something stupid, simple, like a positive cartoon like Disney or Pixar or some crap. But I didn't get to watch it. I threw up and just had a bad night and probably pissed myself. All I had to do is relax. And normally a person would be vengeful towards somebody who blew their night. But instead I said I got a gift. Why in the heck they'd send it to me is beyond me, because I take it apart and I don't react, and I figure out how to counter it without any knowledge on the other end. And if I can't, I just duplicate it and take a look at it and appreciate it. And then when I'm done, I go, who do I send a tip to? And is it 10 or 20 bucks? And like I've said before, I'd be bankrupt by now if I paid everyone back. That's how I'm getting you. You're doing it, not me. When you get to a certain level in theism or spirituality, we see through your bullshit like you wouldn't believe. And I feel so badly for the natives. If you guys have this gift where you see through their bullshit, I'm high-fiving you laughing, but God, is it horrible. Word after word. And I know how to teach a 3-word and fix that. But you won't stop lying. So anyway, let's flip this. Thunderbirds have a lot to do with religion. So I'm going to tie this into religion because I've talked a lot about theism. So someone out there is going, thank God. And I'm with you. And look, don't hit me with, I hate Jesus. That's not the case. My stepfather jammed Christianity down that I was going to die and go to hell, stopped a car on the freeway. For 15 minutes I rode the rodeo, trying not to say it. He was forcing me. My grandfather and my mother told me, never accept religion from somebody that throws guns, bombs, or grenades. And I think that stopping on the freeway in a little blue Toyota truck without air conditioning, total strippy, no tinted windows, roll the window down, and just pray for dear life we get there, and it was reliable. But in the second to fast lane on a freeway where people go 90 miles an hour in the fast lane, and they pass each other in that next 2 lane, he stopped in traffic and asked me that question. So when you say praise Jesus, unfortunately that's what I'm reminded of, and it's nothing personal. I have nothing against Jesus, and I've never met him, okay? Just like God, I don't want to dox him, I want to love him and first appreciate him. That's not wrong, that's not anti-religious, that's seeing the beauty. But also, theists are on a different, earlier timeline. Jesus is newer, to so speak, because he returned in like the middle of ages of humanity. So it's no big deal. You picked one timeline, I'm picking another. And if there's 3 timelines, there might be stuff in the future that's even different. So I just made it simple, and the truth is I hedged my bet. What if only one religion won, and I claim spirituality? I might have a shot. You follow my logic? I am human. I do exhibit fear. I don't want to upset God. So watch. There's a video. I'm not going to reshoot it. And if somebody wants to ask me and say I'm teasing, I did it already. And if you don't find the animal, come back and tell me I screwed up. I'll tell you I smoked a bowl and whoopsie, but I could swear that I just showed this. Positive. It's not labeled. Why? Because I'm solving everything. If you look at the structure of my sentences and the amount of data that I pound out in videos, it's the complete opposite of what the UFO people are doing. They're taking one fact and all the fluff, and mine's fact, 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 fact. All right, I'll throw in fluff. What the heck? And then I go down the line, and it's fact, 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 fact. Who made contact? Hold on. Oh, oh. You are so disrespectful. I swear to you, if you introduce yourself to me, you better run, go under a rock, and never come out from under it. That is so disrespectful.